In this first episode of Extra Good, we'll be covering project cars. What to think about before you buy one, what to think about as you're building your first car, and what to think about for what you want when it's all done.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Lots of thinking.
I'm Kristin.
And I'm Ethan.
Together we restore and modify cars.
And we don't just make them good, we make them extra good. Jazz hands.
Hi, and welcome to Extra Good.
Where we make things extra good.
Today, we're going to be going over how to plan a project car.
Why do you seem surprised by you? How do you have a tiffy? It's like somebody jumped out at you while you were saying that sentence. It was pretty cute. You got 15 more minutes of this, America. 15.
All right, so maybe you bought a car, maybe you're just looking for a car. What's next? How do you go from 0 to 1 in planning your first or second or third, we all make mistakes, car build?
Yeah, a lot of mistakes will be made. A lot of mistakes have been made and will be continued to be made. But hopefully you'll learn from mine.
Garage rule number 1, you will fuck up.
Yeah, you're gonna fuck up a lot. Are we allowed to
Cuss
cuss?
words allowed?
Yeah.
I feel like they have to be.
You're gonna foodle up a lot. You're gonna foodle the fizzle out of everything.
All right, so,
well, I don't
first
know.
of all, let's start with car choice.
Yeah, like what project are we building? What do you want to do? What's your purpose? You know, I mean, like, be honest with yourself. What are you really gonna do with the car? Are you gonna be like Driftmaster 4000? Or are you just gonna like drive it to the local Cars and Coffee and, you know, try to show off to like, you know, a bunch of friends and stuff? What's your real purpose?
You want to drive it cross country, or do you want to take it on Sunday drives around your town? That's going to affect how you build it.
Also, how much money do you have? I figured it out. However long you think it's going to take and however much money you think it's going to cost, just multiply that estimate by pi. And that will actually give you the true amount of time it's going to take and also the true amount of money it's going to take. Pi is a...
I like pie.
I love pie.
Maybe there's that dream car that you've always wanted to have.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Or there's the car that you can do right now. Figure out which you would prefer. Do you want to save and save up until you can afford that dream car and then practice your skills before refining them on said dream car? Maybe not.
I just think trying to make a project car out of your daily driver is a terrible, terrible mistake. Because you see, you need to make money to buy the parts. And how can you go to work to make the money to get the parts if the car you need the parts for is broken?
Uber Unlimited is not associated with Extra Good at all and is not a paid advertisement for the show.
So it doesn't make sense. So if you really, what we're saying is, I'm saying, is if you want to do a project car, first you need to go buy another car. That one you can drive around while your busted car gets worked on.
Or if you're really hardcore, like I was, my first project car was my everyday car. However, it took me 1.5 years to get it built, in which time I borrowed my best friend's car. I was highly committed, and then I fixed things over the weekend. It was stressful, but I made it happen.
Well, yeah, once the car is actually running, then you probably don't need a second car. But you did totally prove my point that in order to get the car running, you need another car.
Yeah.
I always have another car. How are you gonna get those parts?
How easy are parts to get for it?
Yeah, man, if you've got
That's gonna affect budget.
if you've got a lot of time, and a lot of money, then you're gonna be getting into like the weird brands. You're gonna get into the, the Euro importy stuff, like the classic, British stuff, or you're gonna get into like the really off brands, like domestic things like Hudson's and Mercury, the weird stuff. You're gonna be having a hard time finding parts, and the parts you do find will be very expensive.
Good rule of thumb is check up how many of those cars were produced in the year that it was made, and that'll give you a good key in of how common is the car.
Yeah, I mean, that's why like Camaros and Mustangs are so successful, is because they just made them for a really long time. There were lots produced, and they're still very easy to get parts for. But you start looking for something like a Packard, good luck. I say stick to the big three, Ford, Chevy, or Mopar, if you want to have an easy time finding parts and actually cheap stuff that's affordable. Otherwise,
these are of course older cars.
These are older cars. Yeah, pre-internet cars. And the enthusiasm you got on day one when that car shows up and gets let down off the tow truck and rolls into its little spot, and you're, I'm gonna build the piss out of this thing. After a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, months,
2
years, that enthusiasm is gone. Now it's, your folks telling you, hey, when are you gonna move this car? Your girlfriend saying like, I would like to see other people. When are you gonna move this car? Or, your ex-girlfriend saying like, my fiance would really like you to move this car. Or, like later they're about to have kids and they want to add on to the house and they need you to still move the car,
Talking out of experience, babe?
A little bit.
That brings me to a good point, is that, hey, if this is your first car build and you have a limited budget to spend, maybe you don't want to get a full-on project car that you have to work on from start to finish, because you're going to have to do all of that work that, again, if you thought it was going to take 6 months, it's going to take 3+ years.
18 months.
Maybe you want to look at something that is a little bit more entry level that you can actually kind of like step into. It's like wading into a pool, and you can start driving earlier and enjoying and figuring out, is this for you? Because you're going to be spending time in the garage. You're going to be spending that extra cash that you might not have a ton of. And is it all worth it in the end? Figure that out for yourself.
Yeah, and have some space to do it all. You cannot do this in an apartment complex carport. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
It's been done before, but...
It's been done before, but no, it's frowned upon. Those guys ruined it for the rest of us. So my rule of thumb is not only do you need a space for the car to be parked, you need an equal amount of space to actually work on the car. So you're looking at a bare minimum of a 2-car garage to do any type of major project work on a vehicle. Like,
when I got my Studebaker, I lived in an apartment west of downtown LA. Didn't have even a parking spot. It was street parking on one of the most crowded neighborhoods in the US. I made do because I made some friends. I paid them to work on my car, and they let me come down and come in the garage and do work on weekends, and it worked out really well for me. But at the end of the day, whether it's your space, somebody else's space, parent space, girlfriend space, you're gonna have to have space to put your project, and it's always more than you think it's gonna be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ethan and I are working on right now, sitting right behind us. It's a 1966 Ford F100 truck. We bought this truck as a work truck project. Our end goal for this truck is to be our work truck. We moved from LA to Texas and we've got some land now. We've got some shit to do. We need a truck. We've got hot rods already.
I don't need it slammed because I need a truck. If I wanted something slammed, I'd buy a car. I don't need it lifted because I just need a truck. Like I need to go to Home Depot, I need to go to the grocery, buy.
I've got to do a garden and get some chickens. For this truck, it started as one truck. It turned into two 66 F100s. And then we blew apart the whole body. So initially we said, hey, we're just gonna get this truck, we're gonna throw an engine in it, we're gonna make it going. Then we said, we wanna make it extra good. We're gonna do a full build, frame off restoration, the whole 9 yards.
Well,
Let's just make it go.
You might as well. The body is crap, but the frame is good. The other truck, the frame is crap, the body is good. If I'm gonna take the body off, I might as well.
Might as well.
I mean, I could do it good, or I could do it extra good.
What was my original projected max budget for this truck build?
Only a few $1,000s.
I feel like it was a few $1,000s.
It's gonna be, but it's better than buying something new. It is. I mean, and it's gonna be
way more original.
It's gonna be way cooler.
And funner.
Man. Nobody
Price
gets
is cool.
You're driving around in a 2019 F-150.
Nobody's gonna look at you. Nobody's gonna wave hi.
No one's giving you a thumbs up. You're just another dude in a truck, but you're driving around in an old Rusty here. And yeah, man, you're gonna have a positive impact on your surroundings.
The world is always a friendlier place when you're driving a classic car.
Yeah, it really is.
On this project build, we have been doing most of the work in the garage ourselves. I've been focusing on the body work for the most part, although you've been doing lots of soda blasting. And he's been setting up all the mechanics and the chassis and drivetrain. In this work truck, we have a stock Ford straight six, 200?
240. It's a 240 straight six.
300 heads.
With 300 head. It's got an Offenhauser 4-barrel dual port intake,
Which we put on there.
Which is on there. Holley 390 carb and the Clifford dual exhaust headers, long tube headers. So we've got some we hopped up the induction and exhaust, but as far as the engine itself, it's pretty much a bone stock rebuild. But I do plan she's not happy about this, but I plan on camming it and doing some rocker arms and some headwork and stuff.
All right, so I hope these tips have been helpful. If nothing else,
hopefully we've been mildly entertaining.
I hope that you will continue to join us in the garage as we work to make this 66 Ford F100 extra good. And with that, get busy in your garage.
Yeah, go do something.
All right, go do something.
Go.
See you next time.
Seriously, go. Get up, get off of the couch, and do something.